are back. It's game week 2, and I might be about to play a chip. Yeah, I've got loads to discuss today. Welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows, guys. Dean, how are you, mate? Good morning to you. It's early. Where are you? Different backdrop today.
Oh, yeah. I've been sent out on a little mission. So I'm in a hotel. I'm in Nevada, and I'm going to a boxing event, I guess. Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but there's a boxer called Canelo Alvarez, and yeah, there's going to be some sort of event with him around here today, and I'll be there. So yeah, a bit of last minute. I've darted a little bit across the country, not too far. It's only an hour's flight from where I was.
Wow.
But yeah, so suddenly I found myself here. I'll tell you what, mate, my favourite treat so far, there's a Costa coffee machine downstairs in this hotel.
No 7-Eleven for you today. You're going premium.
I've gone Costa, my favourite from back in England. So that was lovely this morning when I checked out downstairs what coffee I could have. So yes, here we go. I'm not in Las Vegas, British. No, I'm not in Las Vegas.
How far are you from Vegas then? Where is it in Nevada? Because we all know of Vegas, Nevada, but we don't know anything else in Nevada.
I'm in Reno, Nevada. So yeah, it's a bit further than Vegas. I think Vegas, from where I live, is probably about a 40-minute flight, to be honest.
Wow.
But yeah, so actually made me realise as I was on that plane, as I realised America I can actually get to now, and I should probably actually seek to see other parts of America while I live here. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I am still FPLing today. I'm up early. I don't think I'm changing my team, but I'm interested in this chip strategy you've got going on. What's this about?
Yeah. Let me get to that in a sec, mate. Canelo is seen as pound for pound, probably the greatest fighter of his generation. Pound for pound, like he is right up there in the pound for pound rankings. So that's exciting for you. We look forward to learning more about your experience there. But yeah, loads in the chat are reacting to great spot is Vegas. You're quite right. Rubber Ducky says quack quack. In fact, Rubber Ducky, I thought of you because I just moved this from my back screen. This was on my pool table. And just as we were going on, I saw the opening screen. I went, oh, I'll get rid of this. My daughter clearly put it back on there. The Mexicans do love Canelo. Absolutely. So look, guys, if you want to comment today, we want to engage you as always. That's what we do on Chasing Green Arrows. But the chat is set to subscriber only mode. So of course, if you're realizing you can't add your comment, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button and then come in. Make sure you hit the likes as well, guys. We really appreciate that. We're with you for the next hour, answering some questions, going through our teams. And Dean, yeah. Maybe we should get started with my team because I'm looking at a bench boost and I want the chat's help with this. So should we show my team? I wasn't thinking bench boost until last night, this morning. And now I'm like, does it just make sense?
Oh, well, let's get into it because this is proper live decision making, yeah. And we can discuss other stuff as we go along. Yeah, let's see what your
do you make of this bench? Now, the elephant in the room is Mark Guiu, and I'm very aware Mark Guiu is probably not getting off the bench. Like he is at the moment third choice number 9 at Sunderland. Mayenda scored. Second choice is Isidore, and he came off the bench and scored. It'd be really. I can't see a world in which Guiu is above either of those two yet in the pecking order, and they only play with one number 9. So sure, they could be losing 3-0 and they chuck on Isidore and Guiu, whatever. But I'm probably getting a 1-pointer best case scenario. But the other three, this is a good fixture for all of them. When do we get Dubravka versus Burnley, like versus Sunderland at home?
Yeah,
but that's as good as you'll get for Dubravka. Dewsbury Hall's got a goodish fixture. And Nico Williams, Forest can keep clean sheets. This is a low-scoring fixture, Forest Palace, traditionally, and Palace played in the week. Now, I know Guiu is not ideal, but I'm not willing to spend transfers on bench boost. And I really, really, really this year, I want a bench boost early before I wildcard. I want to wildcard without bench boost at the back of my mind. I feel like it affects too many of our decisions, and it's just a rubbish chip anyway. So yeah, I could get 2 points each for those 3 little ducks, says Geddy. And if I do, it's not the end of the world. Like whenever I bench boost, it's not going to be a good week. I've gone and looked in the next 10 weeks with this squad. I ain't going to have a good bench boost. And I'm not willing to spend transfers on 4.5 million forwards. That is a precious transfer. I could get to Foster, who will start for Burnley at 5 million. I've got 500,000 in the bank. And he'll start and he'll get 70 minutes. it's not worth it. It's not worth the transfer.
Yeah, look, I don't like bench boost anyway. One thing it might allow you to do too is if it did go reasonably well, then you make up the shortfall from game week 1. That I don't know what you were behind me, say 10 points or something behind me from last week. Even if you just close that gap, then it's played a purpose. It's been useful. So bench boost for me has never been like a game defining chip. If it has been a game defining chip for people, then fair play to you, because I've always found it quite a hard one to nail. And it just gets it out the way early. Like I don't know about Dubravka against Sunderland, but you're right. Like, he's not going to have many good fixtures this season because they're going to concede 80 goals this season. Yeah. But this might be one of the games where they don't concede one, just because it's a team that is potentially on the same level.
Yeah, and I don't think Burnley keep a clean sheet. Neither do the bookies. They're like 30-35% likely to keep a clean sheet. But you won't get many 35% likely to keep a clean sheet games for Burnley. Like, they'll usually be 10% likely to keep a clean sheet. So back in the odds, this is as good a chance as I have. AFCON is the best time to bench boost, as Benjamin. The problem with AFCON is it's around Christmas. Now, what happens around the Christmas schedules? We always see mass rotation. There's always a few surprise benchings. And with the midweek rounds, I don't love that either. AFCON, you could argue, you'll have more money because Mo Salah won't be in the game. But I'm not about setting up for a bench boost and using transfers and putting money on the bench. I want a wild card. And whenever I wild card, it could be game week 6, could be game week 10. It's going to be with a proper thin bench. Now, I would love to poll, should Gianni bench boost, yes or no? So we'll do that. I know the outcome. I've put it on Twitter. I've looked at my comments on Instagram. Like, I know people hate this idea because but you've got to play the game you want. And
yes.
I have always played FPL that way. And I think this is a good opportunity. In the moment, Dean, I'm 60-40. I'm 60-40 doing it. But we'll poll it and it will probably be like 80% say no. And that's cool too. But for me, I've looked, trust me, I spend a lot of time on my team. Yes. I've gone and looked over the next 10 weeks. There is not a better week. Game week 8 for Burnley defenders. Someone said, but 8's a great week. It might be a good week for Burnley defenders, and I'll have 2. But Dewsbury Hall plays Man City. My double Forest play Chelsea. Like, trust me, there isn't a better week with this squad than right here, right now.
Yeah, I think it's not sexy, right? That bench is not sexy. That's the thing. There's nothing about it that is pleasing to the eye about those 4 players, and so that's why people will be very against it, in my opinion. Rory said I'd save the transfer. Talking about Tielemans. SAJ says I should have bench boosted week 1. I left 17 points on my bench. Chris says, yeah, get the chip done with. It's not worth holding out for. It will just make you make bad decisions next time. Yeah, I don't think it matters, mate. I think you might as well give it a go. I mean, even if you manage to get one of those players, so if Nico Williams can keep a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, and then the other 2 get 2 points each, then it's played a purpose. Like, and I actually don't think that 8 to 10 points is that bad for a bench boost.
If I got 10 points, say I get 1 6-pointer, and then, as you say, 2 2-pointers, which is, I could get a 6-pointer from a Dubravka or Williams, maybe. Like, yeah. and then that's 10. I would take 10. Like, I think I'd take 10.
Yeah.
By the way, Sigurd, that is very, very generous of you, mate. We absolutely love Sigurd on this channel. He's one of our absolute chasers. And Sigurd, I'm delighted to see that you're a 96% rating on Fantasy Football Hub with no Haaland. And that is a big call, no Haaland. And I feel like many are knee-jerking Haaland in, but good team. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, mate. That's very kind of you indeed. Massive mistake not to have Haaland, in my opinion. There we go. That's that. I'm never going to say otherwise. I'm not going to pretend that I think it's a good idea to not have Erling Haaland in this game, because I really don't. I don't think it's dear. But if you're getting a 96% rating without him, then you've done something right with the rest of your team. So fair play to you.
I like M's comment on bench boosting. Almost worth getting it out the way and not worrying about it. Probably lose more points trying to create the perfect bench. I'd rather use transfers for my 11. And I'd rather use transfers not only for my 11, but for premium players. To be using transfers on 4 million defenders because they have a better fixture or a 4.5 forward, like, just no. Like, I think there's a very good chance. And at the moment, it's 50-50. So thank you guys for your support.
Yeah.
Dean, if I don't bench boost, this is my team.
Okay.
And we'll spend time on Dean's team in a minute. We'll talk free hit and we'll answer your questions. At the moment, I'm starting Pedro Porro over Dewsbury Hall. And this is a bit of a headache for me because we know Pedro Porro is going to concede, right? But I just think Porro has a chance of DEFCON. He's going to play as a wing back, not a full back, because he'll play back 3. And he's on set pieces, and Spurs always do well at City. So I've got a bit of a benching headache, I guess, there anyway, with Dewsbury Hall versus Porro. Where do you rate? Let's talk Spurs versus City. How do you see that game going? Because Haaland should score. And I think if I owned Haaland, I would captain him. But Spurs can score too.
Spurs can score too. And Man City will definitely be vulnerable. They've got a lot of injuries, haven't they, Man City? Like I was flicking through the injury table last night. I haven't seen it in the hour since I've got up this morning. But I think they had 9 injuries listed, Man City.
A fair few of them are back, though. Rodri and Foden apparently are back. Pep's just said an hour ago.
He said Rodri's back?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's quite early. I thought he'd be a little while yet. Gvardiol, he's not back, right?
No, Gvardiol isn't. Gvardiol was one of the big 2 that miss out. It was Gvardiol and one other. I can't remember who. I'll find out. But
I do think Gvardiol is a bigger miss than people sometimes realise. But... yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting. If Rodri's back, I mean, just back to start though, or back to be on the bench?
Well, I think so. The exact quote was something like Pep Guardiola otherwise said everyone was available, confirming that Phil Foden and Rodri are fit. He said something along the lines of they just weren't ready last week, but they'd still been training. So I think Rodri is fit to start. Ederson, who sat out game week 1 with a stomach bug, by the way, nothing to do with the fact he's linked with transfers. Apparently, he's around, so he's not got that bug anymore. He's in contention to play, but no Savinho, no Gvardiol, no Kovacic, no Bettinelli.
Yeah, Savinho will be having transfer talks during the game with the other team.
Because I mean, wasn't he pictured in the gym when he was meant to be like unwell? And
they were like, okay. Yeah.
Where's Savinho going to end up, Dean? Let's talk a little bit. We'll come back. I do want to talk my team, so we'll keep it on screen.
Sure.
Tell me about the Spurs attacking mids and where they're at, because that matters for FPL. Does Savinho end up there?
Do you think Savinho's that good?
No, I don't.
This is my thing. I'm like, obviously he is. He's a Premier League footballer and he's whatever. But like, I'm not convinced that Savinho's like
doesn't score.
No, and his impact in the Premier League hasn't been that great. That if I was a Spurs fan, I would be satisfied enough with it. Tottenham actually need to sign 2 players, and they do intend to. But yeah, I mean, look, the other one, it's like they're going for Tyler Dibbling and Savinho as like top 2 candidates for that position. And I'm like, I don't think that's the level you want to be at.
It's not quite Gibbs White or Eze.
No, I'd be like, go for Rodrigo. His agents are on the way. His agents are coming to the country to try and find him a club. Throw some money at him. Throw some money at him and say, look, we will actually play you every single week, mate, because we got not a lot else at the moment. So I think that's interesting. Michael says not seen the best of him yet, Savinho, and that's it. Like, he's obviously a very good player, but I just haven't seen enough of it yet. Porro's obviously still going to be a good pick for Tottenham.
Yeah.
So I think
and set pieces is great with no Maddison. Like, you just get the extra routes to points for Porro now.
Yes. So I think that you're onto a good thing there. Sorry, Mark says hope Spurs sign Nico Paz. I'm told they're not going to, mate.
Why would he leave? What a project Como building under Cesc. He's going to have another year there.
It's also very complicated because of the way that he's owned, and he could still go back to Real Madrid, and it's complicated. So I don't think Nico Paz will prove to be gettable.
Okay.
But anyway, so let's flip it back to the game. Obviously, this is always a good fixture, and Tottenham have had joy in terms of scoring goals. So part of me thinks, is there a Tottenham attacking asset I would fancy? Is Kudus worth a punt?
Kudus is a great pick. He's such a good pick for 6.5, isn't he? Like, you get him, but he's the new Mbermo for Frank. He'll play right in the 4-3 and up front in the 3-5-2.
I think if you've got, if you had him from game week 1, I think you're onto a good thing this week with Kudus. So he would be my Tottenham player of choice, I think. And I also still like, I wouldn't say buy this guy right now, but Richarlison, I think, will probably score.
He'll start. Like, we know he's going to get 60 minutes. Like, you can't drop Richarlison after what he did last week. So Solanke's going to have to wait on the bench.
I would have a lot of confidence around that one. So, yeah, that will be interesting. For Man City, Reinder's obviously a great pick. Haaland, obviously a great pick. Ryan Cherki is an interesting pick.
Is he going to start? We don't know if Pep sees him first as super sub, but it's interesting to know if he goes without and out wingers. Does he go for Doku and Bob? Or does he go, I'm going to play Mateus Nunes right back and Aït-Nouri left back, and they're going to bomb on, and I'm going to play with Cherki and Marmoush, or Foden and two of Foden, Marmoush, Cherki?
This is it. It's a little bit Pep roulette again. I mean, last season we didn't have too much Pep roulette, and it became a bit more predictable. But the fact that Marmoush was sub last week makes me think, wow, he's not going to make him sub again, is he?
Marmoush started 14 of the 16 games he was available for since he signed in the league. He has been one of the first names on. Only Gvardiol had more minutes since Marmoush arrived. Like, that's what Pep does, though. He goes through these flavors of the month. So, yeah, it is interesting.
So it is a concern for Cherki. But what I would say is that if Cherki comes on, I still quite fancy him. So I think he's actually worth a punt if you're looking to play around with your team at this early stage. I just want to say good morning to my kids, by the way. So Dylan and Reese are at home. They've just got up and they've put the TV on. So G, they'd love to hear a hello from you as well. So you can give them a hello. They both sat on the sofa.
Oh, hi lads. Dean, your dad's had a great night out in Vegas last night, and he'll be back in a week or two. No, he's looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow or the next day, I'm sure.
The boys have picked their fantasy team as well. Neither of them have made transfers this week.
Patient managers, good lad. Look, we're gonna be showing some like most weeks. One of the boys is going to get a mention and a call out. So guys, keep playing well, because you're beating me and Dean at the moment.
Isn't that crazy? For those that missed the show the other day, my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old both outscored me and Gianni after putting together teams in about 5 minutes each. That's the game. That's the game. All that thought that we put into it.
There was far too much Fulham in there for my liking, but fair play.
What's the youngest FPL content creator you've ever seen?
I don't know one under the age of 16.
I reckon we've got a chance for a breakthrough on chasing green arrows.
Yeah, there's a gap in the market there.
There's a gap in the market because a lot of kids at school do play this game. So I might have to get the kids on it at some point. It would be absolute chaos, but at some point we'll give it a crack. Right, back to your team, mate. How do you feel about it? Have you got a points aim? What do you think? Where do you think you're at right now? Because I bet you're feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I am a little bit. Like, it has to be a good season for me. Like, I did some stuff for the BBC this morning, and all the comments are like, "What rank did he get last year?" Calling him an expert, and I'm like, really? Like, do we have to go there? It's so boring. But that's all people care about is your rank from last year.
You are
so
an expert.
Season.
You are.
Oh yeah, like you could say my ranks are good enough to be referred to as an expert. I don't like calling myself one, and I don't. But if others want to, then finishing 3 times outside the top 100k in 14 years, it's pretty damn consistent.
Like, it's not just to be an expert. It's not just like being great. It's knowing the game inside out as well. And I don't know. I guess there's different terms: specialist, expert. I mean, there's probably different ways that you could.
I prefer pundit, but even enthusiast, FPL enthusiast. That's what I am.
I think that's more me, though, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
I'm just like here for the lols.
So my big thing on my team, Dean, is captaincy. Like, it was one at the start of the week where I went, I'm 33, 33, 33 on Salah, Palmer, Watkins. Now, if you own Haaland or you own an Arsenal attacker, that's where you go. I'm locked. I'm not going to come here and say, I'm still not sure. Come and find out later what I do. I'm locked. I'm going Mo Salah. And we talked about Spurs, Man City being a high-scoring fixture. I'm big on Liverpool, Newcastle also being one. Like, that is a Barclays end-to-end. Like, we remember that from years gone by. In fact, last year, I think it was 3-3 and Salah got 2 attacking returns. Like, that is historically a fixture. Liverpool come out and attack. And Liverpool without Frimpong, by the way, even they're only going to play one way this year. I think it's you score 2, we score 3, and we saw that against Bournemouth. So I fancy Liverpool to have a go. Newcastle always have a go at St James's. I'm going Salah. We'll do a captaincy poll. Who are you captaining? We'll do Salah, Palmer. We won't do Watkins. We'll do Arsenal attacker and Haaland with our 4 options and do a poll. But it's going to be a proper split pot. I mean, Palmer obviously plays the early kickoff. Guys, Amrit in the chat has put that he's watching from the pool with his Nepalese flag. Seeing as Dean's lads are watching, and that, we're going to do a bit of a geography lesson this morning. Guys, where in the world are you watching from? In the chat, just put your country. We'll flash up loads. Where in the world are you watching from? So yeah, Dean, captaincy. Where are you at? I'm on Salah and I'm locked.
I am on Erling Haaland. I have contemplated Gyökeres because I've got him and he's playing Leeds at home, which is obviously a very good fixture. But I feel like just having Gyökeres is different enough right now. And if I've got Haaland, which a lot of people don't, and he costs so much money, then I should captain him. Like if you're going to have Haaland and Salah and Palmer and Gyökeres, you need to kind of make the most of having, all of that and try to optimize my points. And while I definitely am tempted, it's to go Gyökeres, I think the more sensible thing would be to just go Haaland. So I think that's where I'm going.
I like that. All over the world, Amrit in Nepal is there, but so we have people. We have Max in Nashville. We've got Andrew in Scotland. We've got Geddy FPL. I don't know where that flag is.
Oh, I can't see.
I don't know what flag Geddy's got. We've got Canberra, Australia, all over the world.
We are international, and we appreciate all of you for your likes and subscribes, and to all of you that are watching today while I'm sat over in Nevada. If you're wondering why I've got this weird background today, I am in a hotel. 300 of you watching. Thank you, all of you. Should we do a quick interactive 5 minutes just halfway through the show and just rattle through some questions so that people feel part of it right now while we're hearing where they're all from? Let's rattle through 5 minutes of questions, and then we can throw my team up on the screen and we can have a bit of a different discussion as we go through that. So, right, let's start getting. Getty says wrong flag.
I did wonder where that was, but yeah, guys, Dean's right. Let's get the questions in. Like, make them generic, guys. We don't want all your individual. Which 4.5 million defenders better on the bench? This or this? Make them generic.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Let's see what questions come up quickly.
Andrew, Watkins captain. I don't mind it. I think Watkins against Brentford's a great shout. Like there's no right and wrong with captaincy this week. You've got to back your gut. Watkins, Palmer, Semenyo, they're all good picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Have Haaland and Salah been fairly priced? Yeah, because they've given us a conundrum. That's the whole point of it.
The fact that we don't all have both of them is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got me who's got them and 2 others, and you've got some people who's only got one of Salah and Haaland. And yeah, I think actually there's a good differentiation around different people's teams at the moment. Thoughts on Zubimendi? I think he's going to be great. I didn't realise, and I don't think any of us realised, that he played that first game of the season not at full capacity. He'd been sick leading into the fixture, insisted he was okay to play. Obviously, Arsenal weren't at their best. They still got Old Trafford and won. Zubimendi is great and an interesting FPL pick. I don't know how the points are going to work out for him, but I do think at that level, he's worth a go.
He's going to get some DEFCON as well for your cheap midfielders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He'll be one of them that does. Watkins, Gyökeres, Palmer, Salah captain. I mean, we've just discussed captaincy. Yeah, I'm on Salah, but if I owned Gyökeres out of those 4, I'd go there, Sandri.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a poll at the moment. Get voting.
Yes. Anderson or Esteve, I have Aït-Nouri and Murillo, who I am starting. Is he talking about Joachim Anderson? Is he talking about Fulham?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we've got Man United at home. I mean, it's...
Esteve's got a chance. He's got a real chance of a clean sheet.
I wouldn't normally like to back a Burnley player over a Fulham player, but for this week I will.
Oh, triple captain for Ice G. I don't love it, but why the hell not? Just like people don't love my bench boost, why the hell not? I would go Saka over Gyökeres just, and there's not much in that. Frimpong replacement's a big one, Dean. Dorgu at 4.5 is a fantastic option if you want to save some money. I really like what I saw from Dorgu again on Sunday.
I think he's a weird footballer, but yeah. So yeah,
he likes FPL. He watches Let's Talk FPL.
Really?
Yeah, he posted a picture on his Snapchat of him watching Let's Talk FPL with a pen and paper, like making notes.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Dorgu's a good FPL pick. I'm not convinced about his all-round game yet, but he's going to give you a lot of value at 4.5 on an eye test and in terms of points. Frimpong, a big loss for some people in their teams. Like to have to
most owned defender in the game.
Yeah, I like that's a big change for this week, and a lot of people having to get rid of him in game week 2 is not ideal, and the rest of us can hopefully take advantage of that. The fact that people are having to transfers. Anyone interested in Sesko? Does he start? Does he get the start, Sesko, this week at Fulham?
They looked good without him. But obviously, it's either him or Mason Mount. And Mount's playing well. Obviously, Mount doesn't play the 9 role. It moves Cunha. But for a spot in the 11, it's between Sesko and Mount, not for the same spot. But I think he could be benched one more time.
I just don't think. I think you should test this Fulham back line. I don't think you should play Mason Mount against us, but that's...
Yeah. Cunha played well as the 9. Kieran Trippier is an avoid for now, I think. And by the way... Dean, I saw a question about Tosin. Joseph said, Tosin back in. He's back available. Load bought Tosin because it was like 4.5 cheap route to Chelsea. And then obviously he didn't play. He was injured last week. I think over Achpong, I think Tosin comes in. But obviously I wouldn't buy him. But if you've got him in your team, play him.
Bang average. Graham, by the way, no, I wouldn't do what you're saying. Kai says, if Palmer and Pedro blank, what are you doing game week 3? You keeping or you selling? That's a good question. I like that question a lot.
You're getting rid of João Pedro if he blanks and only plays 60 minutes, and that's the key. If we get an early sub and let's say Liam Delap comes off the bench and scores, we're all selling Pedro in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Told you not to pick him.
No, he might score. We might love him. We might captain him in game week 3 because he scores a hat trick tonight.
You'll all be getting Liam Delap in for game week 3 after he scores. West Ham tonight in the last 10 minutes.
Either. Let's come away from questions for a minute. We'll come back to
that. Was our little 5-minute burst, wasn't it? That was quite fun.
Let me talk to you about Chelsea.
Okay.
By the way, guys, thank you so much for hitting the buttons. But we are well down on our ratio of likes today. If you want to hit the like button, 52, I think. Is that right? I was 70, but it'd be good to be over 100. But likewise, if you're realizing you can't add a question in and you want to ask a question for free, you can, but you just got to subscribe. So hit the buttons if you can. Chelsea tonight, Dean. A lot don't like captaining in the early kickoff because it could ruin their weekend. Yep. Would mine. But I don't think that's a reason not to do it. I think you captain who's going to you think will get the most points. And if you think that's Palmer, go for it. But how do we feel about that? Because others will go, I want to watch it. I'm watching the game tonight and I've got plans for the weekend and I want to have something in this. I want to captain someone tonight.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's not scored an open play goal in the league since January. Is that concerning?
Of course it's concerning. Of course it is. It's a guy who I didn't think would have mentality problems and I didn't think I'd have to question him in this respect. But I am. He still seems very confident. He still seems like it's not bothering him. But where's the output? So that does bother me in terms of a pick. And I wouldn't captain a Chelsea asset because of the fear of it ruining the game week. They should beat West Ham today. The thing that could happen in this game, if Chelsea can get on top of West Ham early, that place will turn toxic. West Ham fans are not happy right now. They hate Sullivan. They don't like the rest of the board much. They don't really like Graham Potter. And they don't like half the team. So if they go behind, say Chelsea are 2-0 up after half hour or something, mate, this is going to get messy and Chelsea could really take advantage. So I think it's worth having Chelsea assets. I just don't think I would captain them just in case the unlikely happens and West Ham manage to force their way into the game. FPL Amateur said, "Is Dean in a Hilton? Money must be good." Dean is in a Holiday Inn Express. There we go.
It looks like quite a nice one, though. You got a bit of artwork, the back
Mate,
light, you know.
It's fine. I quite like it. It's actually a really big room.
I was in a travel lodge last night and I got 30 minutes free Wi-Fi. I was like, this is rubbish.
Oh, that is terrible. Yeah.
30 minutes free Wi-Fi. And the 4G was so bad.
I've got
paying for
the
it.
Wi-Fi is good right now. Got my Costa coffee machine downstairs. I've got a free breakfast to go and have in a minute. I can't complain about the Holiday Inn Express. Is there any West Ham assets you think can bang tonight?
No, I mean, a lot have got a Wan-Bissaka, Deuce, Fulkrug, Bowen. Like, you start Bowen, you probably don't start the defenders. João Pedro, I think he's on borrowed time. I think we all know that. If he doesn't score tonight and he gets another 72-minute run, which is what he got last time out, there's going to be a lot of managers selling him. What we need to sell João Pedro is one of the 7.5 million players to put their hand up and go, I'm your obvious replacement. Now, Chris Wood did that last week, scored a brace, but many see Chris Wood and go, with European football, maybe I don't want to go there. But let's say Mateta scores this weekend. A lot will move to him from a João Pedro. So that'll be really interesting where our moves go next week.
I've got a question for you. Why are Newcastle not trying to sign Mateta? They've gone for almost every other forward. Mateta just seems like an easy get.
My thing on that is Eddie Howe is very big on fast transitions and counter. Like Elanga's the perfect signing.
Yeah.
You could argue that's not necessarily Mateta's bag, but
at this point,
go sign Ollie Watkins if you're Newcastle.
I mean, they're going to try. They've half tried that already, but it's going to be very difficult to get. I just feel like why has no one really tried that properly? That Mateta thing. Don't know. It's just something that's been niggling away at me. Yeah, it's one of those transfer things that I kind of have checked out a couple of times, just thinking, well, they must be asking the question by now. But yeah, they're still waiting for Visser. British says, pay the money, Newcastle. They're paying as much as he's worth, to be honest. Like Newcastle have offered the 40 million. He ain't worth any more than that. Visser.
He's old. He's old, and he's got a year or two left. Like if you're Newcastle and you're signing Visser, you can't remember. Visser's only meant to be the Callum Wilson replacement. You still need an Isak replacement, and you can't go and get another 29-year-old. So, like, they can't buy Watkins and Visser. They're both the same age. You need a young one in there. So, I feel like it's so obvious that Newcastle, there's something going on between Watkins and Emery. There has been since forever, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if Jackson goes Villa, and they can't afford Jackson unless they offload Watkins. So surely Watkins goes Newcastle.
Aston Villa have really, really been aggravated by stories this week that have suggested that will happen.
Right.
But the thing they just like, no, Ollie Watkins is not for sale. It's like that doesn't matter. Like loads of footballers make transfers when they're not for sale, and if Ollie Watkins, like, hang on a second, so Unai Emery gets on really well with Nicholas Jackson, and he's just signed him. Say this happens, and so, I mean, if that does happen, by the way, if Nicholas Jackson does end up at Villa, then Newcastle have to at least give this a try. They have to knock on the door and say we want Ollie Watkins just to try and turn his head. And I think it would turn his head. Like, I get the feeling that Ollie Watkins is gettable. I was told again.
You said this weeks ago.
The only player that is not gettable out of Aston Villa is Morgan Rogers, which a few clubs are trying right now. They're not having it. They're like, Morgan Rogers is not going, but they're not quite saying that Ollie Watkins is not gettable. They're just saying he's not for sale.
Emery doesn't love him. It's very clear. Emery doesn't love him. We saw the Champions League. He played Marcus Rashford against PSG.
So is he a good pick this week then? Because a lot of people have got Watkins. Is Watkins a good pick?
Yeah, I think so. I think he scored, like, he's great against Brentford, and he's a good FPL pick because of the fixtures. But no, I mean, I think we're going to get a lot of activity in the next week. Like, it's going to be a fun end to the window, isn't it?
Mate,
and one move like Jackson to Villa could be like a house of cards.
No, I'm not going to sleep. I'm already down to about 5 hours sleep a night, and that might be decreasing.
And here you are in the bar doing boxing interviews, mate. You need to be at home at your desk.
Trust me, this was not in my schedule. This was not in my plans until about 24 hours ago. Right.
Where should we
look at
move
my
the conversation to? We need to do your team. We need to look at a free hit team. So, guys, we are loving all your questions. We're reading all the comments in the chat. Sandri's just tagged me in something. Sandri, ask that question again because I can't see what you wanted to know. We can always type away when the other one's talking. Get involved in the chat by hitting that subscribe button today, guys. Let's see Dean's team.
Yeah. Couple of questions. Eddie says, Dean, start one of Sells or Dubravka. I would start Sells still. To be honest, what was the other one I wanted to answer? Can't find it. Never mind. Right, here's my team. What a team this is. As you can see, well, I've said Sells and goals because I've got Sells over Dubravka right now. So there's that decision made for me. That could backfire. I definitely have had a temptation over swapping that. I have been tempted. It's only because Palace are in a bit of disarray and they've had a pretty tough week that I feel like Forest can go to Palace and win and actually keep a clean sheet potentially. So I'm going to gamble on Sells.
Mate, I like that. Newcastle Palace is a historically low scoring. Sorry, Dean. You're cutting in and out. Try again.
Have you got me okay?
Think so.
Sorry, I lost you and then I think you lost me straight in the back of it. So we give this a second to catch up. Are we good?
I think we're good. Mate, on that, Newcastle Palace, Forest Palace is historically low scoring, and Newcastle and Forest Palace. He only made one sub last night because it was 1-0. What Glasner really wanted last night was a 3-0 win, and then the second leg he can play B team. But now he's got to play A team again on an away trip on a Thursday night, and that team that played last night, 10 of them completed 90 minutes. He only made one sub. So not great for your Palace assets. And I think Forest have got a chance of a clean sheet, a good one.
Yeah. I think it's a good game. That is a good game. I think my team generally is pretty well set up. And part of the thing I like about having these 4 premium attackers is that I'm confident that 2 of them will always return.
Yeah.
That's kind of my tactic, is that the hard thing will be getting the captaincy right, but the majority of the time all I'm doing is flipping between Salah and Haaland, unless Jokeris has got Burnley or something. And I'll add the one of the 4 that could end up falling away from it would be Cole Palmer. But at the moment, I've got good confidence. I don't know if I like Dewsbury Hall as a pick. I don't know. I'm going to let it ride for this game week because I want to see Everton in their first home fixture at their new stadium, and see how he plays in that one. Obviously, the first game week didn't go very well for Everton, but we'll let that one go by the by. I think Reece James got a good fixture tonight. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how my team is set up here, mate. And there's absolutely no way I was going to make any transfers for this game week.
I can't imagine you've rolled much game week 2 in the past. I think the amount of time streaming with me is maybe taking its effect. Like, you're proper set up your squad early, be patient this year.
I am
You've
definitely
been a bit more aggressive in years gone by, game week 2 from memory.
I said last season I wasn't going to take hits anymore. I think I only took 2, maybe 3 4-point hits throughout the season. I used to take loads.
More than you last year. You took fewer than me. Yeah.
And I played it more sensibly in that respect last year. Obviously, I've gone for it this year in terms of my attack, but I'm gonna keep it. Geddy's just said Dorgu screamer against Fulham, 4-0 win. That ain't happening.
Dubravka oversells. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely this could be the pick I get wrong. Like the other 3 subs are rubbish. I'm just like Sunderland just scored 3 goals against West Ham last week. So why would they not score against Burnley?
Home. It makes it. This is Burnley's home game. They get to celebrate being back in the league. They get the 12th man. In terms of clean sheet odds, Nottingham Forest are 23% likely, according to the bookies, to keep a clean sheet. Burnley are 32% likely to keep a clean sheet. Now, of course, the bookies are saying both teams will concede, but they have Burnley clear of Forest in terms of clean sheet odds.
Do they really?
10% extra.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
They're not always right.
Also, like, Burnley Stadium. I mean,
It's not much the 12th man vibe there. There'll probably be empty seats. It won't even be
Like,
full.
I've never heard anyone be scared of going to Burnley, not in the Premier League. So I actually think that, look, for Sunderland, you've just got a first home win of the season. You've got your first 3 points on the board. If you can be 6 from 6, like in the Premier League, Sunderland, like that is huge. That goes a long way across the 38 games. And I think that's what they'll be talking about here. Scott Parker's going to be playing it safe. I think Sunderland go and beat Burnley, to be honest. And
I could love a 0-0. I'd love a 0-0.
Yeah, but because of my hunch that go there and win, that's why I'm not picking Dubravka, and I've got to be bold with these picks.
Yeah, Sunderland will dominate the game, says China. I don't disagree with that. Sunderland will be top of the table game week 2. Imagine that. By the way, shout out Freddie, who's also on a bench boost with Mark Guiu in his team, very similar to me. So, Dean, sounds like your captain set. Obviously, there's no big decisions to make on transfers this week. You're rolling. It'll be interesting next week if the Chelsea lads blank. We all might be here looking at Palmer and João Pedro knee-jerk sales. But for now, guys, that's it from Dean's team. We want to talk about a little bit about free hit team. Dean, I've put together a free hit draft, which needs some enablers in the 11 because you need to, it needs to be thin to get Gyökeres, Saka, Haaland, and Salah all in. So 4 big hitters up front and 2 6 million defenders. This team, if you're on free hit, could be loads of fun.
It's a really nice team. It's actually making me wonder if I should have Saka instead of Cole Palmer. But
the problem with Saka is he's about to have 4 rotten games coming up after this. It's a really tough run for Arsenal.
Yeah, but that is set up lovely, isn't it? I mean, even that back 4, like that is to have an attacking quartet like that, and also have those 4 in defence. That's a brilliant free hit team for this week. I love it. Again, the only thing the only one I'm really grasping at is Dewsbury Hall because it's a bit of an unknown quantity in this Everton team. But you've obviously got to take 1 or 2 gambles in your team every week, and you have to accept that one. Look at you, by the way, the BBC graphics and showing your free hit team. Look at you, big time.
I know it's only going to be once every 4 weeks. So when I do the BBC stuff, which I'm doing today, and I'm doing live text in the next 10 minutes. So for anyone that wants to ask questions on BBC Live Text homepage, I will be answering them from 3:30 to 5 o'clock today. I might, if I've got any energy left, I might do a deadline stream at 5. But I don't.
Oh, your brain! By the time that game kicks off tonight, your brain's going to be on fire, mate. Fair play, though. You are making the most of that expert knowledge. Well done, mate. I'm proud of you.
I'll tell you who I was with this morning on the fantasy show.
Yeah.
Olivia Bazaglo, friend of Chasing Green Arrows. She's captaining Cole Palmer, mate.
What? I mean, that's just Chelsea bias, isn't it?
I think so.
I mean, I don't see the logic.
Not for you.
No, I mean, there's no evidence of that. You're just backing that cold. That's Chelsea bias plus the fact, like, surely, that's what you're saying. You're saying surely he gets some points soon. And that's why I've got Palmer in my team still, is because surely he bangs soon. But I'm not brave enough to go. I obviously don't know who else she's got, but if she's got Haaland, for example, I wouldn't be picking Palmer as my captain.
She's got Salah. She's got Salah, and she was between the 2, but she doesn't fancy that Newcastle fixture, which is fair enough.
I mean, that's fair enough, to be fair. If it was out of the 2 and you see that Palmer's got West Ham away and West Ham are in disarray, Potter loses tonight, his job's on the line already, things like that, I think it's a brave pick, but for game week 2, you probably can be brave because there's still loads of time to play catch-up, isn't there?
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for your questions. We can't answer everything, even if you do tag us. The only time we can guarantee a Q&A is if you're a channel member or a super chat. Obviously, we prioritize them. So, guys, we want to appeal to the masses with your questions. Obviously,
thank you so much again.
What he said. Sokan is on Palmer captain. You are a bit laggy, but you'll come back to us. You'll come back to us. Guys, when Dean's internet is catching up, other big topics of the week. In terms of transfers, don't feel like you have to use them. Dean and I are both rolling our transfers, and I think patience could be key now. The big movers, over 1 million managers have bought Gianni Reinders. If you don't own Gianni Reinders, I think he's a very, very good buy right here, right now. Even with the price rise, even with the fact that you probably don't have a 6 million midfielder to sell, there are managers coming down from Florian Wirtz to Gianni Reinders. I don't love that move. I think Wirtz is a good long-term hold, but if you got to go there, you got to go there. Like getting on him when he's hot, he could very easily produce against Spurs. Dean, without fail, like last week, he was the standout performer in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's a way better pick than Wirtz at the moment, isn't he? Because he's 3 million less. And from being the role that he's going to play, it's very different in terms of what is expected of him from a general perspective. But the amount he's going to arrive in the box with assists and goals is going to make him great value for money. Whereas Wirtz, we still don't know. Like his full capabilities, are through the roof. Like send him to the moon because there's no limit. But when are we getting it? I don't know. And that's why I'm sitting off of Wirtz for now, and I'd 100% be on Reinders for this week.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm with you. What about Fernandes captain versus Fulham? Dean, there's a fair few Bruno owners out there. If there's a week where you want to back against the obvious and you don't want to be punished by a player like Salah or Haaland being 150% owned, this is a week you can do it because there's going to be a complete split pot. There will be a lot on lots of players, including Watkins and Palmer. Could you go Bruno? I mean, I think Fulham always put up a good fight against United, don't you?
We put up a fight, sometimes get a draw. Bruno's going to be playing deep, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're going to be playing in Burmo and Cunha. Cunha at Fulham last year, Wolves scored 4 at Fulham last year, and Cunha had one of his best games of the season. So he'll be remembering that as he steps out of Craven Cottage. And what's Bruno? Bruno's going to be from set pieces a threat. So you're talking about penalties and potentially a free kick, but I don't even know if he'll get the free kicks in and around the box. Like I reckon there's a good chance that Mbeumo or Cunha would step forward and take them. So
yeah,
I don't think at Bruno's price point I would be buying him for this fixture. If I still had him from game week 1, then I think that's fine. I think that Bruno Fernandes was probably Man United's worst outfield player in game week 1, and I don't think it works. And I just wonder if actually he's the weak spot again, and he's what Fulham look to take advantage of if they can in this game. Interesting to see if Josh King plays for Fulham, but there's definitely a chance. Andreas Pereira, we're not seeing at the moment, and is very likely to be sold in the next week. So if Pereira does leave, makes Josh King an even better pick in FPL. Already hearing that he's always going to be in the matchday squad and likely to be in the 11 or at least pushing for it. And if Pereira, his relations with Marco Silva aren't great, let's leave it at that. If he does head back to Brazil in the coming days, then yeah, Josh King, it's all there for the taking. So interesting to see if Josh King gets the nod for a game as big as this.
Yeah, Smith Rowe came off the bench, looked quite bright, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that
I don't know that he'll start Smith Rowe. I don't know if he's fit
ready.
enough. I don't know if he's conditionally ready. And his form hasn't been good, Smith Rowe, either. So might be a better impact player, I wonder.
Only just tuned in, Colin. Oh no, you've missed a good one. But you can still go back and rewatch. Like there's loads of time for that. And if you are just joining, then we're live right now. But you can go back and watch 49 minutes of hopefully some good chat. FPL Discomfort is in the chat. Looks like he's getting on Cunha early and selling Wirtz. FPL Discomfort is someone that will happily go against the grain. So fair play here, and I don't hate that. I think Cunha was really good. I wondered between Cunha and Mbeumo, Dean, which one of the two would you prefer to pick? Because I think in terms of FPL-ness and in terms of output, I think Mbeumo might be the pick there in the 8 million men.
My take on it is that across the whole season, if you're going to stick with one, go Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Short term, go Cunha.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Cunha is
could play number 9.
So, yeah, he could play 9. He seems desperate to make an early impact.
He
Like
does.
the way that he was trying to force plays and stuff and drive towards goal in that first game just makes me think he might bang in these first few weeks, a couple of, big moments. But the positional sense of Mbeumo seems a bit more reliable across the course of the season. And obviously, we've seen his stats with Brentford in terms of where he scores his goals from. And I think he'll continue to do that at Man United, even though he begins the game a little different positionally.
Yeah, okay. Guys, get your questions in. We will answer as many as we can till the end of the show. And if you're wondering why you can't add your question, this chat is set to subscriber only mode. If you're a channel member, that's the benefit of being a member, where your questions will be answered. So priority, of course, to members first. But thank you, all you chasers, for your support today. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And thank you for voting on the poll. That 50-50 for my bench boost was good to know, because I thought it was going to be like 80-20. I think I'm going to do it. I'll lock in very late. I'll try and jump on my channel and do a deadline stream with like half an hour to go so I can tell you lot what I'm doing. But let's see. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Do you think Mark Guiu starts? Absolutely not. FPL Down Under. He will not start. I promise you that. I can actually promise you that.
Yeah. Yeah, not likely at all. Start Diouf or Porro. I mean, I do Porro. Yeah, like Diouf. I think in some games this season will be great, but at the moment, I'd avoid West Ham defenders just because we don't know how bad things could potentially get. It does not look rosy over at West Ham. What else have we got? Where should we go next? Sanchez or Dubravka? You got Sanchez in goal right ahead of Dubravka, or do you go the other way? Would you flip it?
I'm on Sanchez. I was on air this morning with Let's Talk FPL, who is Fantasy Premier League's biggest YouTuber, right? He currently has his team set with Dubravka over Sanchez. I'm on Sanchez over Dubravka. But look, guys, I'm probably bench boosting, so I'm going to have both,
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot you're doing that. So yeah, that you're in.
That's one of the reasons why I'm bench boosting is the goalkeepers. Like Dubravka's not. Look, you can say he's better chance of save points in other fixtures, but Dubravka's not going to have many games where he's like 35% likely to keep a clean sheet. Most of his games are going to be 10% likely to keep a clean sheet. This is the 1 week you maybe could go with Dubravka.
Yeah. What do you think of Mayenda at Sunderland? Scored last week, right?
He scored a really good header. It'll come off, but it looks like Isidore will come on, and he got a goal last week as well. That's why Guiu at the moment is third choice number 9, and they only play one striker. Mayenda first choice, won't play 90, but firmly first choice. Isidore. Mark Guiu's got to get in line, unfortunately. He'll play the League Cup game on Wednesday, though, whenever it is.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. Definitely keep an eye on the Sunderland attack because they are looking sharp, and they have also clearly put a lot of thought into the way that it's going to transition into the Premier League. Start Van der Ven or Joachim Andersen. Both playing Manchester clubs. I'd go Van der Ven, I think.
Would you? I think I'd go Andersen just.
Would you?
Van der Ven's not good at DEFCON, and Andersen is. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And Van der Ven's going to play alongside.
I'm still not totally clear on this. So what potentially Joachim Andersen does the best he can possibly do in terms of DEFCON? Yeah. What points does he end up with?
He gets an additional 2 for 12 defensive actions, for 10 defensive actions. Defenders get for 10, midfielders for 12. So Joachim Andersen versus Man United is going to be out of possession a lot. He's going to be winning a lot of duels. He's going to have to make a lot of duels. I would put money on Andersen getting 2 additional points this week. Wow. Van der Ven will be busy against Man City, but he'll be playing in a back 3 alongside Danzo and Romero, who both will take that responsibility. Van der Ven will often be the spare man. He won't take many defensive actions. So I'd be surprised if Van der Ven gets it, and I think Andersen will.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right, play Marmoush or Wirtz? I'd go Marmoush. I'd go Marmoush.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would go Wirtz just because I know I'm getting a starter. Although it's not absolutely nailed he starts, but he should be.
Yeah.
Marmoush is probably 70% likely to start, 60. I'd have Wirtz at 90.
Yeah. Start Burnley or Leeds defenders game week 2. Well,
definitely Burnley. I mean,
Burnley,
Arsenal at the Emirates are pretty solid.
I just can't think of a Leeds player who's got an upside for that game, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Pedro's benched, go for Larson or Evan Nielsen.
João Pedro's unlikely to be benched, but I guess we could get a team leak that said he was. But I'd be surprised if João Pedro was benched. Very surprised.
If Pedro's bench, go for Delap.
Make a transfer.
Exactly. What do you think, mate? What's your prediction? What's your game prediction for this Chelsea West Ham?
1-0 Chelsea. I think it's going to be tight.
That's not good enough.
I know, maybe 2, but I think Chelsea could keep very easily, comfortably a clean sheet is on the cards. And I think this new Maresca team from the second half of last season, the Club World Cup, even last week, it's way more pragmatic. What he's not good at is going, we can have a go and we can be good at the back. It's one or the other. He started with let's have a go and concede loads of goals. And now it's let's be tight at the back and actually be a bit more restricted in attack. And I don't expect Chelsea to blow many teams away. I can't see many 3-4 goal games at the moment, which is why I'm not captaining Cole Palmer.
Yeah, absolutely. JS says we are his favourite content creators. Wow.
Are you sure?
Who thought this day was coming, eh? Baba says start Paqueta or Harry Wilson. Blimey, I didn't know anyone conundrum. Harry Wilson?
Wilson for the corners. Wilson for the corners.
Transfer. Yeah. Ruta to Reinders, definitely.
Yeah, make that move. Make that move.
I'm going to give Amrit a shout in a minute because he's been asking 4,000 questions to you all day.
Amrit, we even gave your country flag, for God's sake. Amrit, you started the world game. We've answered. Yeah, guys, that's all we got time for. We've hit our max, and Dean's on a terrible lag at the minute, so I think this is our cue.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let's end it. On a free hit, you've seen our free hit draft. If you're just joining and want to know more about free hit, go back and watch. If you want to see my team, go back and watch. If you want to see Dean's team, go back and watch. Guys, thank you so much. We'll be back on Monday. Dean is now off to go meet one of the best boxers ever in Canelo Alvarez. So, Dean, we're going to let you get on, mate. Will you be posting about it on your socials?
I don't know if I'm allowed yet. I'll find out when I get there. If I am, then yeah.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a good one. See you later.